Dallas-Fort Worth.
Every community must deal with issues, face tough challenges, and make difficult decisions in order to grow and move forward. We're here today to identify the problems, talk about solutions, and come together to strengthen our community. This is what's going on.
Thank you very much for joining us. This morning we're talking to Dr. Keith Harley. Now, this is what's so interesting. You are the owner of Hair and Scalp Clinic. You've been a stylist for 30 years. You're a trichologist, and you are a motivational man as well. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am fantastic. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank
okay,
you.
so now hair for 30 years?
35.
35? Oh, my God. Okay. So what got you motivated in that? Because obviously it's turned into something where you motivate others, and I want to get to that. So let's talk about the beginning.
Okay, so I started doing hair when I was 16. Loved the beauty industry. I got it from watching my grandmother from Greensboro, North Carolina.
Nice.
And decided I wanted to get into the hair industry and started, just doing hair and realizing.
So like when your grandmother was doing, was it still pressing hair?
No, well, she was pressing, but she was wearing them wigs.
Ah,
and
okay.
she had a wig for every day of the week.
Like me. Okay.
and it was something about Southern women, and you know about this, they just took pride in their hair and their dressing and their hats and so on and so forth. So I used to watch her and I said, I can do this. So I started doing hair in my basement when I was 16 years old to make extra money to help my mother out. She was a single parent. And at that time, we were doing what you call jerry curls.
Don't I know?
Okay. That's what people are familiar with.
Right, exactly.
And so one day, she didn't know I was doing it. And she came home early. You know how parents decide they want to get off work early or something? Yeah,
come check on things.
Right. So she caught us in the basement, and she didn't know what was going on. And so she said, "You better get all these women out of my basement. I don't know what you're up to." And she ran upstairs. So I ran up behind her, and I pulled out a wad of money out of my pocket. And I said, "Well, what am I supposed to do with this? Do I give it back to them?" And she looked at me and said, "I'll be right back." She left out the kitchen, came back. She had on an apron and a robe. She said, "Do they want some collard greens, macaroni and cheese, cornbread? What they want? I'm going to fix them whatever they need."
and your career was born.
Yes, absolutely.
But now you've evolved, though.
Yes. I went back to school, and I became a trichologist, which is the study of hair and scalp disorders.
I was going to say, you have to explain that.
Yes. The study of hair and scalp disorders. Got my doctorates in being a cosmetologist, and just decided that we needed more help in our communities, helping people with hair loss.
Well, that is a big deal because, as women, we get our hair braided.
Yes,
ma'am. We have perms, all of that. And then even mine, it's thin and it's fine. Yep. So what can we do? Because when you're trying to rebuild that hair, what do you do?
Well, it's usually something internally or hereditary. So a lot of the patients that come to my hair and scalp clinic, we find that some of them have vitamin D deficiencies, which is probably 40% of the problem. Some women have low, it could deal with their body changing when it comes to hormones and sort of thing.
Yeah,
and so that's your skin and your scalp and your hair are the first things that respond to what's going on internally.
That's true.
And so once they learn that and they start to see it, you can catch it in the beginning. This is why we always tell people to go get their blood work done. Go get, let us see what's going on internally. Some people will find out that they're hormonal. Some people will find out that they have high blood pressure. It's all sorts of things. Every individual is different.
And that's interesting when you say get your blood work done, because you don't connect that to your hair.
Absolutely.
We think I'm going to get my hair done, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
So you get your blood work. I just got mine done. That's why I'm wondering. But you get your blood work done. What would you see? So you just look at it and see maybe it's cholesterol, maybe it is high blood pressure, whatever those things are.
Yep. We speak with the doctor, we look at the report, and we can determine based on what's going on through your blood work why you're having these issues with your hair and scalp. And then what happens is people try to go to stylists and get it fixed. And rather than becoming educated on what are the best things to do, they just say, "I want it like this," and they'll either look for a temporary fix, or they'll cover it up, or they'll never get to the problem, and then the problem becomes worse, the solution to the problem.
The solution to the problem
Yes, ma'am.
becomes worse. And I think that is with a lot of us, especially African-American women.
Absolutely.
And women of color, you
Yes.
know, because I know I deal with that. And it's like, okay, now what? And when you say it like that, maybe it is more vitamin D, or is it? Somebody said too, it may be your blood pressure medication.
Oh, blood. That is one of the side effects of certain blood
Pressure medication?
Pressure medication. People get their hair begins to change the texture of the hair. They lose their hair. All sorts of things. So it can happen, and we see a lot of it.
So, and is that like most of the women that you see, or people that you see, I should say, is pretty much dealing with issues like that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And sometimes we have to get their doctor to change their medication. And then sometimes we just tell them there's nothing we can do about it. And sometimes it increases to the point where what they would have inherited comes quicker.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So,
it does.
It just
but
depends on
you
what
actually
you're
can get to a point where you say there's nothing we can do, like
Absolutely.
the doctors do. Mm-hmm. Does that happen a lot?
Oh yeah, because people damage their hair. They become kitchen beauticians. They try to do their own thing, their own remedies. They go online and they'll do research and Google and I always tell people you don't get your license from YouTube.
Yeah, that's true.
But some people
Good
think
point.
they can.
Good point.
You know, they go to YouTube and say, "Oh, I can do that," and they're making the matters worse.
Yeah, it does make the matters worse,
Yeah.
and it's a shame if you can't, really fix a situation like that.
Absolutely.
We are talking to Dr. Keith Harley. He is a trichologist, and of course, that means he deals with hair and scalp disorders. But also, you are a motivational
Yes.
speaker, a motivational person. So, how did you make that transition? Because you have a book and everything.
Yes,
Let's talk
yes.
about all that.
So my childhood was not one of the best child. I had a good childhood, but it was not one of the best childhoods. And as I grew up in the hair industry, and I learned from my clients how different aspects of life, why didn't those things happen for me? And
Give me an example.
like, for instance, the relationship with my dad. My dad who left when I was 3, and I never could figure out why Christmas time was difficult for me. I was always depressed. I was always unhappy. I didn't even want to sing Jingle Bells. And
No Jingle Bells?
No
Never
Jingle
heard?
Bells. And look, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Everybody
no,
loved
say
all
it
that
ain't
stuff.
so.
Right? I couldn't enjoy it. And one day, a couple of months ago, I had an epiphany. And I called my dad and I said, "Dad, when did you leave?" And he said, "Christmas Day." I said, "Oh." And I said, "How old was I?" He said, "You were about 3 years old." And he said, "I had to do something good to keep from doing something bad." And at that moment, he earned the most respect from me because it wasn't about whether he was a good father. It was just the situation wasn't good for him. So he chose to move on. They became great friends. And to this day, my dad is a great father. I love him dearly. But that was some of the things that stemmed from my childhood that made me who I was as a man.
And I can understand that too, as far as the depression on Christmas.
Absolutely.
Had something happen. And I think, now you just kind of brought some light to me.
Oh, yeah. And I
about
suffered some other things too. I suffered abuse. I felt like if he was there, he could have protected me. And he wasn't. And so I had to deal as a man, as a black man, to be able to sit here and say I was abused as a child.
That's a big deal.
That's a big deal. But I had to take the Band-Aid off the wounds and heal my wounds in order to change my life, to take good to be better.
So you are taking good to be better. Now tell us, is the name of the book Step Up and
Yes.
Step Out Right?
Step Up. That's what it is. Called Step Up.
I like Step Out Right. I added that. Okay.
I love that. But we use that part of it. We use that. That's
So
good.
Step Up. Tell us about Step Up. And obviously all of this, got you to this point, basically.
Right. Step Up is about your present situation is not your final destination. Wherever we come from, we don't have to stay. As long as we want change, we can acknowledge it, and then we can come up with a mechanism, program, system, or to get help to change ourselves based on what we're willing to address from our past.
And the past usually is the answer to where you're going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the past is usually the answer to what you're dealing with now.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true. So when you did this book, obviously you're helping lots of people.
Yes.
What are some of the things people may have come to you and said, I'm dealing with this, and you were at least able to open up something for them?
People pleasing. People, when you hear people talk about all the time, I just love to help people. I just love to, just make them feel better. I love to do for people. But usually when people say that, they're trying to hide something from themselves. So they'd rather fix you than fix themselves.
Wow. Oh my goodness. We are talking to Dr. Keith Harley. Keith, the book is called Step Up, and now we're talking about people pleasing because that is a big deal. I love people.
Right.
I do love people, and I think I am a people pleaser to an extent, but I've been doing some digging.
Right.
So I guess we all have to do that. But you talk about entrepreneurship,
Yes.
entrepreneurs being successful, because one of the things, we don't get to go to school to be an entrepreneur.
No,
we have to learn that. So you're a successful entrepreneur. So let's talk about that and how you help people too.
Well, what we do is we try to build your level of confidence. The difference between people who are successful and people who are unsuccessful is the people who are successful believe they deserve it. The people who are not don't believe it. So they have lack of confidence and self-esteem, so it never happens for them.
I feel like I'm getting a therapy session here, Dr. Harley. I'm just thinking, are you talking to me every time you bring this up? That's awesome. That's awesome, but that is true.
Right.
So how do we, and we're going to talk more about this,
Yes.
How do we get to the point where we feel that we are deserving of the success that we know that God wants us to have?
Clean up our mess.
Ooh, okay, that was quick. Okay.
Take off the Band-Aid, go to the past like we discussed earlier, find out what our issues and our problems are that diminished our value and diminish our existence. Once we fix that, we can then become who we need to be, and then we will attract who and what we deserve and what we desire.
All right, we are talking to Dr. Keith Harley. Man, oh man, the book is called Step Up, but boy, oh boy, we're getting a whole lot here. We'll have more for you when we come back.
K104 is doing it again, and we're giving away the big bag, baby. Free bag.
Whatever you want to see is done.
K104 pays your bills 5 times a day.
Y'all can pay my rent, car notes, car insurance, electricity.
Show us your bills now at myk104.com. Then listen for us to call your name. When you hear it, call us back within 10 minutes and get your bill paid.
We start calling names at 7:20 with Didi in the morning.
It's your girl Ariel Grind, and I'm giving you 2 chances to get paid while you at work at 12:20 and 2:20.
And ride home with your big homie baby at 4:20. I might call your name.
Whoa, now it's Cat Daddy. I got your money at 7:20 at night.
K104 pays your bills 5 times a day.
This is Cardi B on the only station that pay your bills. Whatever you want to see is done.
Show us your bill now at myk104.com and get your free money.
I've never felt better in my own skin, and I owe it all to Kelly at Ideal Image. She helped me say see you never to my stubborn belly fat. And no, she's not a trainer. Kelly is my personal skin, face, and body specialist. When I was struggling to get rid of fat in hard to exercise away areas, she and her team of highly trained med pros suggested Coolsculpting from Ideal Image, an amazing non-invasive procedure that reduces belly fat with no downtime. Now you can get 25% off Coolsculpting from Ideal Image and ask about up to $300 off. Let me tell you, it works and looks natural. I'm sporting a flatter stomach and I love the way I feel. If the gym isn't getting you where you want to be, find your Kelly at Ideal Image and lose that last bit of fat. Go to idealimage.com today to find your skin, face, and body specialist and get 25% off Coolsculpting from Ideal Image and ask about up to $300 off. That's idealimage.com. Minimum purchase required. Visit us online or head over to your local Ideal Image today.
It's tax time, and this
This year, Rent-A-Tire is letting you ride with your refund. Need new wheels and tires? Rent-A-Tire is the only place where you can ride today and pay it off with your tax refund. Using their 120 days, same as cash plan. You get a custom payment plan to fit your needs. No matter what you drive, Rent-A-Tire has you covered with new, lower prices and the brands you want. Take advantage now and ride today. Visit Rent-A-Tire.com and find your store to ride with your refund.
Girl, you won't believe what just happened.
What?
I just got hit.
Girl, you better go to justgothit.com.
Okay.
Gotzi Martin started fighting for injured victims in 2007. I've been working with David Gotzi since then. Every time I think I've seen it all, one of these insurance companies comes up with some type of brand new excuse about why they don't think they need to come up with money to take care of an injured person and their family. When I was in high school, I had a coach. He said excuses were like assholes. Everybody had one. Well, that's what we see with these insurance companies. A new excuse every single time. The sooner you get us involved, the fewer excuses you got to deal with about why your car's not being fixed, why your medical bills aren't being paid, why you're not receiving pain and suffering money, why you're not receiving lost wages for the time you're missing at work. We'll get you to qualified doctors and make sure you get the respect you deserve. Give us a call the instant you're impacted. 214-I-GOT-HIT. 214-I-GOT-HIT.
You just got hit, you just got hurt, and you need help. Call or click now. We can help you hit back.
And then she told me that her granddaughter... John, are you listening to me?
Of course I am, Mom.
Well, then why are you on your phone, ignoring your poor mother who only loves you and wants to spend time with you?
I was doing some banking on the Wells Fargo mobile app and I got carried away. Pay your bills? Done. Check your balances? Done. Deposit checks? Done. Even send and receive money? Are you updating your status right now?
With the Wells Fargo mobile app, it's easy to get banking done. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getbankingdone. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
The all-new Toyota RAV4 asks, what if? What if your ride was refined and rugged at the same time? Introducing a car that's got style and substance to spare. The all-new RAV4 Limited, featuring a sophisticated, muscular new exterior and available options like a premium JBL audio system and panoramic roof. The all-new RAV4 Limited. Toyota, let's go places. JBL and Clarifier, registered trademarks of Harman International Industries Incorporated.
Right now, rejuvenating your bathroom is a pleasure at the Home Depot. Starting with the powerful Waterpik Torrent Shower Head at a new lower price of just $19.98. With 9 spray settings, including a power pulse massage with up to twice the massage force of other spray heads. So treat your bath well, and it'll return the favor. Save on the Waterpik Torrent Shower Head, now during the Winter Kitchen and Bath event, only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through March 24th, while supplies last.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a motor vehicle accident, call the leading Dallas personal injury law firm, Eberstein and Witherwright, at 1-800-CAR-WRECK. It's important to protect your legal rights to just compensation. Call 1-800-CAR-WRECK for a free consultation.
Dad, thanks for taking me bowling. This is fun.
I just wanted to talk to you about protecting yourself.
Dad.
You know, at some point, maybe you're posting dance vids at a party.
Dance vids?
Yeah, the dance vids. And people around you are using cable internet. You can always call me or your mom and we'll come get you. No questions asked.
Dad, I know to use internet with AT&T Fiber.
You know, it's just the people with cable internet, they could have the upload speeds of internet with AT&T Fiber and they choose not to. They're not thinking, son.
Dad, I'll be okay.
Hey, good talk, right? All right, you're up, big guy.
Don't get mixed up with cable internet. Switch to AT&T Fiber. Get faster upload speeds and save when you bundle with DirecTV for $75 per month for 1 year. Price is higher in second year. Limited availability. May not be in your area. Check eligibility at att.com/fiber300. Ends 4/13/19. Price for internet 300 select package with 24-month TV, 12-month internet agreements. Combined billing, auto pay, and paperless bill. Pay $80 per month until discount starts within 3 bills. New residential customers. Select markets. Equipment lease, activation, early termination, equipment non-return, taxes, other charges, and restrictions apply. Compares upload speeds with internet 300 of up to 300 megabits per second to up to 35 for Comcast, Cox, and Spectrum. Speeds vary. Not guaranteed.
Hey, thank you very much for joining us. Having a wonderful conversation, inspiring and empowering conversation with Dr. Keith Harley. He is a trichologist, and of course that means a hair and scalp expert. You deal with those disorders.
Yes, ma'am.
And also a motivational speaker,
yes,
and
ma'am.
Just inspiring person, entrepreneur.
Yes,
been
ma'am.
doing hair for many, many years. And of course the book you have out is called Step Up.
Yes, ma'am.
So why Step Up?
You know, a lot of people ask me about that name, and the reason why I went with Step Up is because I want people to understand that in order for you to fix the stuff, you got to step up to it.
Okay.
You got to step up to the decision to know that there's an issue. You got to step up to the decision. You got to work it out. You got to fix it.
Yeah, and well, a lot of times though we may say, "Hey, we on Facebook,
hey guys,"
but a lot of times we don't know that that's what we have to do, or we may not know what it is.
Right.
You know, like you said, you just had the epiphany about your dad.
Yes.
So what happens when we walking around and we just don't know?
Because we stay in one place. And when we stay in an area that's familiar territory, you think where you are and what you do is regular.
That's true.
But then when you start observing other people and other situations, that's when you're saying to myself, hey, wait a minute. You know, we could have handled this differently. I can be different. I don't have to stay here. I don't have to stay stuck in this situation. I don't have to stay stuck in this relationship. I don't have to stay stuck in this job.
So you're not defined by those things that happen to you?
No, you're not.
So what's the first step? Because a lot of people are saying, wait a minute, job, you got my attention.
Right.
I don't want to be here.
Right.
So the first step is you got to...
The first step is acknowledgement.
Okay.
Acknowledge that there is an issue or a problem and stop blaming everybody else for your situation. Take responsibility for your stuff. If things have happened to you in the past, whether it's something somebody has done to you or something that you've experienced, forgive that. What can we do about it?
Nothing.
The fact that we're alive and that we can acknowledge it, that's the first step.
Okay, so now we're getting ready to get deep here because we're talking about forgiveness,
yes,
all right?
Yes.
And it's not like as easy as turning on a light switch.
Right.
Because I swear, I had this situation today. I thought about somebody and I could have that little feeling like,
Yeah.
So I said, I haven't totally forgiven that person.
Right. And what you're doing is you're giving them your power.
Well, exactly. But I mean, I'm still working on it, though. I mean, you know, how do you get there? You know, you say, okay, I forgive you, and then that's it?
Yeah, you can. Or you can have a conversation with them.
Okay.
Or you can just have a conversation with yourself. And I tell a lot of people all the time, you know, write a list, write a piece of paper, get a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. On the left side, you write down what are the issues. And on the right side, you write down what are the solutions. And what we have the problem with, Lynn, is we stay in the problem.
Yeah.
We never transition to the solution, but that is what paralyzes us. And then until we address those issues, we will never get to the power. And so we just stay stuck. And then the bottom problem is we complain about the results because of the work we didn't do.
That's true. That's true.
We complain why we ain't got this. We complain why we're not that. We complain why we're not having this success. You didn't do the work.
Yeah. Let's talk about doing the work. Come on, let's talk about doing the work.
Do the work is addressing the issues.
Yeah.
And then, but don't fizz out because it gets uncomfortable.
Because it will.
It will. It'll hurt. It's painful and it's lonely. But if you know there's a better way, then seek out help. And sidebar, stop asking for help from people who you are willing to not trade places with. We have a tendency as we go to people that we want help from, but why are you going to help them when they haven't done what you're trying to do, or they're trying to go where you're trying to go, and then you keep putting people on a pedestal that don't deserve a stepping stone.
That's a very powerful statement right there. We're talking to Dr. Keith Harley, and he is breaking it down. We're talking about really starting with ourselves and really forgiveness.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
It's a huge deal. But when you do it, it makes things so much better.
It makes things a lot better.
Oh, absolutely.
So now let's talk about the list again. You're saying write
a list.
Yeah.
You take just a clean sheet of paper. On the left side, you write down all the issues and the problems. Right? And look at them and just be honest with yourself. That's the first most important thing is just be honest with yourself. Nobody can see it. The only person you're lying to is you.
That's true.
Right?
You can't lie to yourself.
No.
Even if I don't like
truth.
it, I tell myself, you didn't do so-and-so. Right. I will tell myself the truth,
Right. And so on the right side, then you start focusing on the solutions. Now, here's the key part about it. When you start focusing on the solutions, watch the stories that you tell yourself in your head, the conversations, because that's usually what dictates your action and what comes out of your mouth.
Yeah, but your thoughts. Because thoughts are so powerful. Yeah. And that's the thing that we have to... Okay, so let's just... It's so many questions I have.
Go for it.
Because, I mean, we're talking about telling the truth.
Yes.
And we just had the Jussie Smollett situation. And it just is breaking our hearts. How do you feel about that? I mean, just, your thoughts.
Oh, my gosh. Let me tell you, when it first came out, I was 156.32% in his corner.
I was too.
I posted about it. I was done.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I overreacted because a lot of people kept telling me, wait a minute, some things aren't making sense. But in the condition that our country is in, that was where I went left.
Yeah.
And so then as things started to fall apart for him, it became painful.
So, it is painful, but I mean, that's a big lie.
It's a huge lie, but that is a mental problem. Someone said to me today, he said, Keith, not only did he lie, but he also bruised himself to get the attention because of he wanted higher pay.
Yeah, and I love him.
Self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah.
So there's more to that.
And those are the type of situations sometimes we're talking about that has to be healed in order for us to move forward. Because here's a guy who is extremely successful in the eyes of most of us that look at success.
Right.
You're on one of the top television shows,
right.
And we didn't even know who you were before the show came on. And we thinking you're living the life, the lovely life. But I mean, there's always people around you making more money. Because I think it was, So anyway.
Yeah. And the other part I was saying, by working with celebrities over the years, they go through something what we call celebrity sickness, where if they don't feel like they're getting enough attention, or they feel like that their name is being diminished, or they're no longer relevant, they will do what they have to do to become relevant. No matter what cost. And that's what he did.
It's called celebrity sickness, huh?
Yep.
That's amazing, because you do see people all of a sudden they're not being covered or talked about, and now all of a sudden, so he has that.
Yeah,
absolutely, sickness.
Absolutely. Now we'll see how he responds to what's going on. Is he still in denial? We don't know.
Yeah, time will tell about that. But we are talking to Dr. Keith Harley. And, of course, he is a trichologist, but also a motivational person. And I think you had a quote, is don't look when you're going forward, but sometimes you should look back to see how far you've come.
Right.
Something along those lines, right?
A lot of people have a tendency, they love to look back. And they look back, and what happens is when they make changes in their lives, they look back and go back. Because that's what's comfortable for them.
Yeah, that's true.
That's familiar territory. When you become successful and you get you level up in your life, that's unfamiliar territory. So that's hard work to stay there, to go forward, to keep going, and to make it happen.
That is true.
So what happens is, and then they hang around the wrong people. Because the wrong people will remind you of who you used to be because it's comfortable for them.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
So you do what? You go back.
You go back.
So all I'm telling people is, look, the only time you should look back is a glance to see how far you've come. That will give you enough energy to keep going.
All right, so now we are talking to Dr. Keith Harley. The book is Step Up. Tell us what's your website, how people can reach out to you.
Our website is Step Up to Level Up. That's STEPUPTO Level Up, LEVELUP.com.
Okay, so that's how people can reach out and find out more about you, find out more about the book.
Yes, ma'am.
Everything, man. This is amazing.
Thank you.
So what are some of the things that you want to evolve to with this movement? I mean, you're helping a lot of people.
Yes, ma'am.
Obviously opening people's minds and their eyes.
Yes. We're going from city to city. We're starting a new event called Step Up in the City, where we're going to be going to different cities and inviting people to come in to not only network with entrepreneurs and people, to network with one another, but also to have them fix themselves so that they can get the life that they deserve and they desire. A lot of people want it, but they're not courageous enough, or they don't have self-confidence.
Yeah, and then also that, want to be around like-minded people that can help you get there. So this is really nice, because sometimes you're thinking, okay, I want to do this, but now what do I do?
Right. And they don't believe that they can't conceptualize. I always say this all the time in my speeches. They cannot conceptualize anything beyond their present situation. because they see other people do it, and then they become professional hand clappers.
That's true. That's true. I'm a hand clapper. I admit it. I've been there. You still, and each time, no matter what age you are, how old you are, how young you are, you want to evolve. You're trying to evolve, for something else to open up.
Yes, ma'am.
For you.
Yes, ma'am.
In this world. How important are things like affirmations and things
Affirmations are incredibly important. I tell people, write them on your mirror. I believe in dream boards. I believe in vision boards. I believe in journaling. I have a journal.
I do too.
That we sell on Saturday. Well, I'll make sure I send you our Step Up journal.
Thank you.
It talks about in the journal different mechanisms and systems that will help them stay on track to where they need to get.
That's the thing, though, because even for me, it's staying on track because I have a real creative mind, so it's all over the place.
Yes.
There are people that are creative. We want to be honed in, so we can stay on the path.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And so what these systems do will help them stay on the path.
Okay.
It's realistic. It's not setting these goals that are never seen. It's about day-to-day activities to get you closer to your happiness, will then get you closer to your success.
Happiness will get
your freedom.
That's what's up, Dr. Harley.
That's
what's up.
That's
Again, give us the website information.
It's stepuptolevelup.com.
All right, stepuptolevelup.com. Dr. Harley, it is a joy. You're going to have to come back so we can talk some more because we're building and developing and learning.
We're on a mission. It's a movement.
It is.
And I tell your listeners, I want them to put out their #StepUp. And I want them to be a part of this movement to elevate themselves. Your present situation is not your final destination.
Your present situation is not your final destination. I so like that. And on that note, I'm Lynne Hayes, and that's what's going on.
Thank you, Ms. Hayes.
This has been What's Going On. Thank you for getting involved in making a difference in our community.